This is a Fox News alert. Hurricane Florence pummeled the coast, and now Tropical Storm Florence has made it inland. Parts of it are ugly. WTTG's Marina Morocco is live in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Marina, what's it look like there?
Hey, Tucker, you can never underestimate these storms, even as a Cat 1. For now, things are okay. We get one of these feeder bands that come through, and you can feel the wind gusts and the rain, but so far, so good. However, the destruction seems like this probably very similar throughout the state of North Carolina, especially here along the eastern shore. And you can see these gas stations here, especially all these that are made out of aluminum. For the most part, they're probably the ones that have been the worst hit. A lot of structural damage here in North Carolina, and this is just the beginning as this storm continues to pummel the state and sit just above it, moving at only 3 miles per hour. That death toll has now risen to 5, and it's incredible the damage that such a small storm can create. And you'll see throughout the state, no power here, billboards just like this one as you drive along these major thoroughfares. Now, what's incredible is the infrastructure in counties like where we are here in Jacksonville, Onslow County. There's not a single building in this county that can withstand a Category 4 hurricane, and that is why they asked for those mandatory evacuations so early into the week so that people could get out, because there was simply nowhere else to go. And that was probably the best call, because with that storm surge, we saw water rise down by the beach up to 5 feet, and a lot of those homes along the beach and the coastline there taking a total beating. And it'll be incredible to see at daylight just exactly how bad the damage is, Tucker.
Yeah, we'll have to wait to know. Marina, thanks a lot for that report. The Washington Post, which used to be just kind of a liberal newspaper and now is just pure propaganda and unreadably stupid, managed to somehow blame the president for Hurricane Florence. They said he was, quote, complicit in the storm because of his positions on climate change. It's a pretty big claim to make. Is it true? We thought we'd talk to an actual meteorologist on the question, not just a Washington Post propagandist. Dr. Roy Spencer is a meteorologist. He's the principal research scientist at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, and he's the author of Inevitable Disasters: Why Hurricanes Cannot Be Blamed on Global Warming. Doctor, thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Well, thanks for having me, Tucker.
I know that you acknowledge the Earth is getting warmer, and there's a debate about why. But there's also this second debate that plays out in the popular press about whether the warming trend is causing more severe weather events like hurricanes. Is it?
Well, it has gotten warmer, as you said. Since the 1950s, there has been a warming trend. But what we haven't seen in terms of any long-term weather measurements is whether there's been any change in severe weather. There hasn't been any increase in hurricanes. That's on a global basis. In the United States, the frequency of hits of the United States by major hurricanes has gone down by 50% since the 1930s and 1940s. There's been no increase in droughts, no increase in floods. Tornadoes are down, but still weather varies a lot, especially hurricanes, year to year, decade to decade. So there's a huge amount of variability, okay? Some of them stall, produce a bunch of rain. Certainly North Carolina is going to have a major flooding disaster, but this is what Mother Nature does naturally. And if there's a human influence in there, you wouldn't know it because there's so much natural variability.
So I'm confused, though. I know that we keep pretty good records on hurricanes going back more than 100 years, so the data are available to anybody with Google. We know whether or not there's been a dramatic increase, and you just stated the numbers for us. So given that there hasn't been, how can people claim there has been and that global warming is to blame?
I don't know. Why do people like the Washington Post say such stupid things? It's because the people that are informing us in the media about global warming are people like Al Gore, Bill Nye the Science Guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson, people that don't know anything about atmospheric science. You just have to look at the history.
Wait, I'm sorry. Let me just interrupt you. Bill Nye is a science guy. It's in his title. So that doesn't mean he knows a lot about atmospheric science?
Well, no, he doesn't. He's not a trained scientist. I believe he's an engineer of some sort. Plus, he has a widely viewed YouTube video called Climate 101, where he faked an experiment. He put CO2 into a jar and shone a bright light on it and tried to show that it caused the jar to warm up inside because of the extra CO2. But a TV meteorologist, Anthony Watts, cleverly showed that the whole thing was faked. It's ridiculous.
What? And I believed in Bill Nye the Science Guy till tonight. Doctor, thank you. It's nice to have someone who actually knows what he's talking about on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tucker.
American immigration